Hello everybody and welcome back to another C++ programming exercise. And in today's video we are going to be doing programming exercise number 13. Programming exercise number 13 says write a program that calculates students' average test scores and their grades. You may assume the following input data. Now the input data, will be this right here. Let's shrink that down a little bit. This will be what the input data is. And you can see here is that each of these individual scores will be like scores for a test. Anyways, when you take in those test scores, you need to calculate the average test scores and the grades. Use three arrays, a one-dimensional array to store the students' names, a parallel two-dimensional array to store the test scores, and a parallel one-dimensional array to store grades. Your program must contain at least the following functions: a function to read and store data into two arrays, a function to calculate the average test score and grade, and a function to output the results. Have your program also output the class average. Now I'm going to go and show you a little bit of what this programming exercise will look like in action. So when I click run, this is what will show up. Let me just shrink that down a little bit. And this here's what will show up. You'll have these names that's going to show all the tests that they got, right? And it's going to show the grade that they got as well. Okay, so it's also going to show their average for these 5 tests. Okay, now that I've showed you what the end result will look like, I'm going to get to the actual code. Now the first thing that we want to do is write in up here is write in our function prototypes. So for sure, we're going to have a function that gets our data. So we're going to declare that first up. Now we're going to write in if stream, input file stream, and inf, which is just going to be short for input file stream string n, comma, double tst data 6, comma, int count. Now we have to have here, we also have to calculate the average. And because of that, we're going to have to write in here double. And we can actually just copy and paste what's right here inside of there. And now here we're going to have void calculate grade. Now we're going to have double. We can also copy and paste what's in here and put that stuff right in here. But right here, we also have to write in char gr, which is going to be grade. It's going to be a array. There we go. Now print void print string n, comma, ts, comma, double, tst, data, six, comma, char, comma, int, count. Okay, and now that we're done with that, we can get to our main function. So here we're gonna write in, well, so first you need to write in string. It's going to be a string array, names, 10, double, test, data, 10, 6, and char, grade, 10. Okay, now that we're done declaring these variables, we can get to declaring, actually wait, we have one more, which is going to be the input file stream. In file, right here we have to have infile dot open, and we're going to be opening whatever the name of the file is. You guys already know the standard drill. This is going to be this is the name of my file. However, whatever you name it, if you go and try and rename it, it will give you the option to change what the name of that file is, and from there you can copy what is in there, and then you can paste it. Okay, so anyways, here we could go to if in file, then we're going to go to cout, cannot open the input file, and I'm just gonna copy and paste what's right there. And cout program terminates. And then we can just return 1. And now we can cout fixed show point set precision 2. Now we can execute all of our functions, like get data, in file, comma, names, comma, test data, comma, 10, calculate average, test data, comma, 10, calculate grade, test data, comma, grade, comma 10. Now we're going to print names, comma, test data, comma, grade, comma 10. And then in file.close, okay, now that is the end of our main function. Fairly simple, and I actually started here because it is that simple. Now we can get to the functions. Now the functions are probably gonna be one of the most straightforward parts about this, considering that many functions in C++ can just be straight up copied and pasted from program to program, because chances are you're going to need very similar functions. And since people usually need to use a lot of the same functions, that's why something called libraries have been created, because those libraries provide a variety of functions, and you don't have to always copy and paste them. You can just include the libraries, but that's a different topic that I'm not going to talk about in this video. Anyways, let's actually get to coding our functions. So now the first thing that we need to do is go and get data. So what we can actually do is, let's see. We can actually just copy and paste everything that we have here. And once we do that, we just delete all of the semicolons. Okay, and there we go. So from there, we can just, get to coding. So first we need to make our for loop for int I is equal to 0. I is less than count. I plus plus. Input file n I, and now for int j is equal to 0. J is less than 5, and j plus plus. We input file test data I j, and then you do test data I 5 is equal to 0.0. And now we can get to the calculate average part. Now what this one is going to do is it's going to take the data and, calculate the average, of course. Very simple, honestly. So basically, you have double sum. And now for int I is equal to 0. I is less than count, and I plus plus. Oh, and you also need to have some of those. And once you do that, you can do that. Sum is equal to 0.0. And now for int j is equal to 0, j is less than 5, and j plus plus, then sum is equal to sum plus test data I j. Test data I 5 is equal to sum divided by 5. So this is, oh wait, hold on. What? Huh? Oh, there we go. Is equal to sum divided by 5. No, I already did that, but anyways, so the reason that I didn't explain what this was for is because this space was going to be the space that we are going to store the average in. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we can now go on to the calculate grade. We don't have to return anything because it's a void function. Let me just empty out some of these empty spaces. Calculate grade. Let's see. Now this is going to be very simple. You just need to write in a for loop. For int I is equal to 0. I is less than count. I plus plus. If test data I 5 is greater than or equal to 90, we set grade to I, which is equal to A. Excuse me. Now what you need to do is you need to actually copy and paste this. Now right there, you need to do that. Now change that to else if. Make that else if, and now here you're going to be doing this. And you need to copy and paste this, copy this again. And now paste it once again. It's going to be C. This is going to be 70. This is going to be 60. This is going to be D. Else GR I is equal to F. Now we can go and print. The first thing you want to do is declare the double sum. Which is equal to 0.0. And then you have to do cout left set W 10 name. Oh, by the way, that needs to be a string. There also needs to be some of these arrows. And now write set W8 test 1 set W8 test 2 set W8 test 3. Actually, now that I think of it, we can just copy and paste this. And so we're going to do it for all of the other ones. So this one is going to be 4. This one's going to be 5. This is going to be average. That one's going to be 10. Grade. Endo. Now we can get to actually printing stuff out. So first we need to go for int I is equal to 0. I is less than count. I plus plus. Cout. Oh, by the way, you also need to right there bring that in right there. Cout left set W 10 N I and then Cout right. And now for int J is equal to 0. J is less than 5 and J plus plus and Cout set W 8 test data I J and now Cout set W 10 test data I 5 and then we set W. Six. Grade I and del, and then sum is equal to sum plus test data I 5. Then we can see out and down and down, and then we can see out class average sum divided by count sum divided by count and del. Let me just get rid of this stuff. And there we go. Now we should be able to run this program. Okay, let me run this. Let's hope there aren't any errors. Let's check. There's an error. Hold on. Oh, I see the problem. I just need to write that in. Let's see, what is the next error? Void calculate grade. I also need to write that in. Next error. Let's remove that E. And next error, if there are any. Semicolon. Next error, and everything works just fine this time. So let me just minimize it so you guys can see. So you see it gives us the individual test scores for each and every single person. And it also gives us the average and also gives us the grade. Now I'm just going to do a really quick refresh of how this program worked before I finish this video. So first up, the main function is pretty self-explanatory. We open it, and if it doesn't let us open it, then well, we terminate the program. And then most of this main function is literally just executing these functions. But let's get to executing these functions. This is just standard taking in input data. It takes in this input data specifically. Right? It takes it in a two-dimensional array. If I'm correct. Yes, it does. And it stores that all in. And the reason that stores, it makes sure to leave I 5 blank is so, because that little space is going to be dedicated for the average of that specified person. And now the average is going to be stored inside of that little spot, and that just is repeated here. You guys can see that. And now the grade is just a very long is just a long for loop that is shown off as so, and that is basically how it works. Just tells you if you have a 90, then you'll get an A. If you have an 80, then you'll get a B. If you have a 70, then you'll get a C. And right here you have the printing out of the functions, and it's pretty simple as well. You just have the sum. We declare the sum up here, and the reason that we have the sum is because We have it there because it is so much easier to just have this as a little side operation while this main thing is running, and it's just a lot easier for us to just print it out at the end and have it over with instead of making a new function, which will take some time and is a little bit inconvenient. So we have all of this aligning that aligns all the stuff that we see here. It aligns all of it. Let me just shrink this again. And see back here, you have this and it prints out the data and does all of that, and then it ends the whole thing, and then it shows you the class average. The class average in this case was 70.94, which is which is pretty accurate because that is more or less how all of the kids placed. Okay, I hope you guys had a great day doing the C++ program exercise along with me, and I hope you guys continue to have fun in the future. I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.